Recapping the 2013-2014 Luther College men's basketball season with head coach Mark Franzen. Coach, when we talked last week, we hoped for 3 games to recap. That's exactly what you got. Over 5 days, that was a pretty fun ride.
It was. I mean, the guys they made a great run. They really did. And, I think if you kind of step back and look big picture, when Nate Meyer went down at Co. and we had a tough night that night, we lost 3 out of 4. And then for the guys to regroup and play that well is just great.
And you looked at it throughout the course of the season. Martin went down for a couple of games. You've had some other injuries. You mentioned the Nate Meyer injury. This team probably had to deal with more of the stuff related to injuries than any team you've had here at Luther. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, you got that component, and then some of the graduation losses we suffered in the post. Led us in a different direction schematically a little bit. So yeah, including that, the injuries. You're right. This team did a good job of adjusting to all that.
Let's look back at last week. You had to go down to Loras last Tuesday night, a team that you had beaten twice, but by a total of 3 points. You ended up pulling away in the second half against the Dewhawks last week. How were you able to get it done?
Well, the biggest thing I wanted to see, I thought to finish the season at home, I didn't think we competed very well. I was just, I think the guys were playing hard and all that, but we finished the season at home against Central and Dubuque. Mentality-wise, I didn't like where we were at. So the biggest thing I saw right away in that Loras game is, we were going after it. We were guys off the bench were contributing, and it was much more. Guys were vested, and it was a good effort. So I had a good feeling from the start, and we just kept scoring. I don't think John made double figures, and for him to not make double figures and us to win against a team like that speaks well.
And of course, that Dubuque game on Thursday night, that's probably one anyone related to Luther basketball is going to be remembering for quite some time. Down 18 with 8 minutes to go. You need to get stops, you need to keep scoring, and you need to get a few things to go your way, and everything happened.
Yeah, we just, we're always going to keep fighting. That's what we've been about since day one. Yep. So we just keep fighting, keep going, and then we started getting kind of a flurry of baskets and got some stops, and some things went our way. Ball bounced our way. So yeah, it was a very very unique deal, and credit the guys for sticking to it.
And you went down to Central on Saturday, got off to a tremendous start. You were hitting everything from outside. You knew Central was going to come back. They got the momentum at the end of the first half, and they just unfortunately were able to keep it throughout that second half, weren't they?
Yeah, we got up. There was a point there in that first half we got up. We really could have extended it more. We had some bunnies we missed, and I thought we really could have pushed that thing open more. Now certainly Central would have come back just like we did in the second half, but to have a bigger gap there score-wise, I think was possible. And and then we struggled a bit that second half, but again, the character of our guys showed. I think we came back and had a chance there with the ball, and just didn't quite get it done. Not because we didn't have a good mentality, we just didn't get it done.
And you look at this senior class, you're graduating this year. We'll start out with John Andrews. 4 years, 4 drastically different roles, and he was able to thrive in all 4 of those roles. Special player and a special young man.
Well, I think the average person just doesn't understand how good he is. I mean, for example, in his career, and he's been a cog in all this, we have more wins, including the regular season and tournament, than any other team in the league. And he's been an integral part of all that. So for him to come in and have that team accomplishments just speaks, that's where you start. But, for him to be in as many categories as he is in the conference, in the top 5, is just amazing. Assists, he's second. Scoring, he's 4th or 5th. Rebounding, he's second. It's just ridiculous. The guy is just a great player, and it just shows by our results.
And Michael Crocker, he came in his first year, was a key cog in the NCAA tournament team, and he was just a steady Eddie for you for 4 years, wasn't he?
He was. He was during a time where those guys came in that 10-11 season. We won our first Iowa Conference championship, and we were on we were building the program, and it was getting there, and then those guys jumped on board and kind of provided that push that we needed. And like I said, Croc came in as a freshman and started. He got hurt in January of that freshman year, but he just again, those results that I mentioned speak volumes to his contributions.
And your rest of your senior class, they might not have gotten the attention that John and Croc did, but they were key cogs in this thing too, weren't they?
And one of the things that's made our program is the guys that don't play, the kind of attitudes they have, and the practices we have, and really nobody really can appreciate that, but people inside the program. You know, Christian Kepnick, just tremendous attitude, and and he played well on Saturday and in the tournament. And we've had guys like that. And then Charles Martin Stanley. Here's a guy who worked and didn't make varsity till his senior year. I mean, how many guys with those type of attitudes you're going to see, in college basketball? And then not only did he make the varsity, he played in a game at Northwestern in critical minutes. And then Brian Naoji, his development throughout his career is just really impressive to me, because the guy didn't even make the varsity as a freshman. As a sophomore, really struggled shooting the ball, and just came back and just had some huge games for us. So that senior class is pretty special, and they leave a big trail to follow.
And where does the process to looking forward to 2014, 2015? Talk about what you do at this time of year related to what you did and what you want to do in the future.
Yeah. Well, this time of year is kind of a downtime right now. We just kind of, it's a long season. We wish we were playing this week, but that marks about 5 months. Basketball is, pushing 5 months, 6 months for a lot of teams. That's half the year. So, I mean, it's a marathon, and you got to pace yourself accordingly. When you work, you got to work, but you need to be smart about it as well. But there are, I just, like I told our guys, like Central did a great job this year. But if you look at some of their guards, look back at their stats last year, how much they played and what they did. Just did a great job of developing in the off season, and those seniors just stepped up, did a great job. So there's guys in our program that have developed over the years, and the next guys to do that are out there, and we'll see who that is.
All right, Coach. Of course, we wish we were previewing a game this week, but it was a fun ride last week, and overall a pretty good season again for Luther College men's basketball. Congrats on a solid season, and continued success with the blue and white here at Luther.
Well, we appreciate all your support. I know people really love listening to the games, and appreciate your support.
Mark Franzen talking Luther College basketball.